Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. And today I am bringing you a deck profile that is very near and dear to my heart. This, of course, is the Burning Skull Skull Flame. Wouldn't even call it an archetype, but a series of cards. Now, this series of cards was run by Hunter Pace back in the day and is just kind of like focused around burn damage, but it's pretty inconsistent as far as things go. So those of you who've watched the channel know that I made a deck profile years ago, and it's still, if you search up right now, it's the deck profile that appears most often when you're looking for a Burning Skull Head deck profile. But, you know, there's some new cards that came out, and, you know, I've always had this archetype in the back of my mind. And so when the archetype was made, like, you know, it just didn't have a lot of stuff. But lately there's been some really cool new support cards that have allowed this deck not only to become, you know, decent, but actually to be pretty good and win you some casual games. I'm super excited to show you guys this deck because when I built it, the idea was that I wanted it to be functioning around being a fast-paced zombie deck that you win using your Skull Flames and your Burning Skull Heads and all of that stuff. So I'm so excited to show you guys this deck. And without further ado, let's get into it. So starting things out, of course, we've got to have our best guy right here. This is 3 Burning Skull Heads. When he special summoned from the hand to the field, inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent, not once per turn. Of course, following that up has got to be Skull Flame. Pretty much your big beater here. He allows you to special summon a Burning Skull Head from your hand to the field at the cost of your battle phase, and then also to add one from your grave to your hand at the cost of your draw phase. Also triggers its effect. Finally, we've got Supersonic Skull Flame, which you get by banishing a Burning Skull Head from, or a Skull Flame, regular Skull Flame from your graveyard, and then inflicting damage to your opponent equal to 400 times the number of Burning Skull Heads in your graveyard. Now, of course, because we're running a Burning Skull deck, we have to run Skull Conductor, which is discard from your hand to the grave to special 2 monsters equal to 2,000 attack. You can actually get this effect off very often in this deck, and I'll show you some of the combos how to do that. Of course, the card that inspired me to build this deck right here are 3 copies of Volcarion the Rotting Phoenix. This is a brand new level 2 tuner that came out in Supreme Darkness, and its effect is basically like you bounce this card from your field back to the hand and allows you to special summon any zombie from your hand. Now, immediately my head went towards the Burning Skull Head, but you can also use this to get bricked regular Skull Flames out of your hand, and that's a big 2,600 beater. Level 4+8 equals level 12, and so you have quite a lot of options in this deck to go for some serious damage with this card. It's absolutely awesome. Next, of course, in this deck, we've got to have 3 Goblin Zombies. This is how you search all of your main cards, and it's not even once per turn. And we've got ways in this deck to trigger the non-once per turn effect of this card. So really cool card. You can just keep looping this over and over and getting as many searches as you want. Of course, since this is a zombie deck, we're also running Pyramid Turtle. The reason why Pyramid Turtle's in here is because it's easy to grab your Skull Flame, who's the highest attack monster you can special summon off of Pyramid Turtle with 2,600 attack. And that comes in really handy in a variety of different situations. Now, on theme here, we've got 2 copies of our Samurai Skull. On the Skull theme here, this guy gets you zombies from your deck to the graveyard. The key zombie, of course, that you want to get to your grave is Skull Flame, so you can special summon your Sonic Skull Flame to the field. Now, of course, we've got 1 copy of Mezuki and 1 copy of Gozuki. I don't really think that you need any more than 1 of these. You're free to switch out a Samurai Skull for another copy of Gozuki. They're just like really useful cards that allow you to, like, you know, keep pushing the advantage, but they're not necessarily part of the win condition, but they just are great extenders and allow you to both extend in winning situations and losing situations, which makes them quite nice. Now, of course, can't forget about this card right here. This is Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom, when it's sent to the graveyard, you banish it, and it allows you to grab any level 5 or higher zombie from your deck to your hand. And there's quite a lot of good ones that you want to grab in this deck. So that's really, really cool. 1 copy of Ill Blood, pretty self-explanatory. You can get this guy out on the field with Pyramid Turtle. He Gemini summons himself and then allows you to special summon zombies from your hand and your graveyard, which comes in super, super handy. Now, one of the coolest cards in this deck, and one that a lot of people don't see coming, is Al Ghul Mizera, who discard him from your, you can banish him from your hand or grave when zombie type monster on your field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, and then he banishes, and then when he gets banished by any means, you special summon him to your field and can reduce his level by 1. And you can keep looping this multiple turns as long as he hits the grave, because his banish effect is just protection, and he only activates his effect once per turn. So you can get 2 protects and then 1 special summon off of him. So that's really cool. The last card in here, guys, the secret sauce, Wandering Titan of Tartarus. Now this card right here, as Hunter Pace calls it, G End of Storm. And for those of you who know what it does, you know, pretty self-explanatory on that front, guys. I'm gonna do a combo video and I'm gonna showcase more of like what this stuff does. But that's it for the monsters for now. Moving on to the spells. Starting out with our spells, we've got 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. We want to draw in this deck so that we can see our combo pieces. And now we've got 3 copies of a brand new tech card, Throwaway Common. This card is the League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes. And you might be asking why this card? Well, there's a lot of different plays that you can use this, but this just allows you to dig through your deck in a way that very few other cards can. And some of the combos that we can do in here, guys, are absolutely nutty. So keep your eyes tuned for our combo video so you can see exactly how we put this card to use. Now, of course, 2 copies of our Zombie Reborn allows us to reborn cards back from our grave. I put this in instead of Book of Life, because I feel that Book of Life is not really all that good. So this card just gives a lot more ability to play on your first turn, which is something that you're definitely going to want to be able to do. And the banished zombies can also help out in a lot of different ways, you'll see. Curse of the Ancient Turtle. Think of this card like kind of a Foolish Burial. You banish a card from your grave and then can foolish a zombie from your deck to the graveyard. Really great to send a variety of different targets in this deck. You can do the Search, you can send Mizuki, Wandering Titan, like it doesn't matter, just really good. And then its graveyard effect, you can banish it, and it basically is Pyramid Turtle's Destruction by Battle effect. So that's extra cool. Now, in terms of if we want to get that graveyard effect off, or we want to send our Zombie Reborn to the graveyard to shuffle something back, we got Foolish Burial of Goods to allow us to do that. Another great card in this deck, of course, is DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation. We banish quite a lot in this deck, and so being able to recycle the banished stuff is great. And the reason why this is so great is because of its discard. So sometimes we'll have a bunch of Skull Flames, or we'll have just random useless stuff in our hand, and this, like a Mizuki, or you know, we draw into the Glow Up Bloom, this allows us to proc that effect while getting a monster back. And so we actually really like the discard in this deck, and couldn't go without it. Now, of course, we've got Delta of Invitation. We're running this over Zombie World because Zombie World doesn't contribute to our plays, but this card being able to send a level 5 or higher zombie type monster from our deck to our grave, we get our Skull Flames, and you know, put our Mizera in our Al Ghul Mizera in our graveyard, put our Tartarus in graveyard, and then also serves as an extra monster to special summon, you know, more pieces and things like that. And so really great card. Then we've got a copy of 1-for-1 in here, pretty self-explanatory. Foolish Burial, also self-explanatory. And finally 2 copies of Different Dimension, Burial from a Different Dimension. That helps us to get back some of our pieces and do some of our recycling plays. Now, for our traps, we've only got 4 in here. That's 2 Call the Haunted and 2 Compulsory Evacuation Device. Now, these are pretty self-explanatory. Just gets us back some of our extra pieces. This is good for special summoning Goblin Zombies or Skull Flame for like chump blocking and different things like that. And then Compulsory Evacuation Device, of course, sends back opponent stuff to the hand, but can also send back our own Burning Skull Heads to our hand, where we can then activate their effects again to special summon and inflict more damage. That's going to do it for our main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck. Now our extra deck here is very, very different than most people would assume, and that's because we're running some crazy, crazy cards in here. First card starting out, one copy of our Gaia Blaze, the Force of the Sun. Now this card is awesome because what it does is it allows you to attack multiple monsters your opponent controls, so up to 2 monsters your opponent controls. So when it destroys a monster, it can attack again, and then you can add fire-type monsters from your graveyard to your hand, equal to the number of monsters you destroy by battle this turn, up to 2, which means if you got some Burning Skull Heads in your graveyard and then you swing over 2 monsters your opponent controls, you can add those 2 back to your hand at the end of the battle phase. Really, really cool. Another awesome card in here is our Rampaging Smash Tank Rhino Saber. Now, a lot of people don't really know what this card does. Basically, you discard any number of cards from your hand to the grave, and he gains 700 attack for every card you discard. And so he can get quite massive. And then also, when at the end of the battle phase, allows you to special summon 2 monsters from your grave, a tuner and a non-tuner, equal to the level 7. So there's a lot of great uses for this guy. Can't value him enough. Starmine, this is a surprising card that a lot of people don't see coming. This, goes along with the burning effect, because anytime it just gets destroyed or something next to it gets popped, it will pop itself and then inflict 2k points of damage to your opponent. Now we've got this card over here, our level 8 zombie type monster. This card here is basically allows us to banish a card our opponent controls when it hits the board, and that's really, really awesome. Now, Beel's the Diabolic Dragons. This is just good because it's indestructible by battle and card effects. Very, very easy to make with our Volcarion in this deck. We've got our Samsara Dragon of Rebirth. Level 4 +1 makes level 5 in this deck, and this actually turns out to be a really, really good card, especially for reborning back some of the stuff we need. Classic card in here, we've got Dark End Dragon. And now moving on to some of our other cards, we've got Black Rose Dragon. This just allows for extra pops on our board so we can destroy things our opponent controls, and then also destroy stuff that we control as well, allowing us to get Skull Flames or proc the effects of certain cards, because our zombies love being in the graveyard, and Black Rose can get them there. Now, another special card in here we've got is a copy of Vermilion Dragon Mech. This is great, allows you to banish tuners, and then when it dies, you can add a tuner back to your hand, which is really awesome. But it's also great because you run a lot of level 8s in here, and him plus the, any level 8 plus the Glow Up Bloom equals your Vermilion Dragon Mech. So it's a very, very easy card to make. We've got Dragon Echo Nether Soul Dragon, which is, you can kind of make that off of Beel's when you go into it, which is cool. Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord, of course, pretty classic card. We're running 2 of these guys. And of course, the last card we have is Immortal Dragon. I am missing 2 cards from this extra deck, which I don't currently have. One is Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon, the level 12 Synchro, and the other is Jiraishin, the Curse Enchanting God. And both of those cards are fantastic, not only for their levels, but also for their effects. And they just allow you to utilize very, very easily your Algul Mazera and your level 7 and your level 8 plays to go into some fantastic stuff. So guys, that's going to do it for our deck profile of our Burning Skull Heads. Now, in the next profile or in the next video, I'm going to go over a combo video where I'm going to show you all sorts of cool stuff that you can do with this deck. So stay tuned for that because that's going to be uploaded very soon. If you guys liked the video, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe to the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. And this has been the Merman Master signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.